What's good, people? Mayor of TV here. Before we get into it, hold up a second. In fact, let's just move straight forward. Tricky. I see Tricky on the big internet speaking about Hypo. RIP to Hypo. Tricky's making a point out there for you youths out there to overstand. However, it seems he can't find his words. One of them words being, how come nothing's happened to the guy who put Hypo down? In reality, you have to wrestle with your mind and you have to wrestle with common sense. It weren't one of them man from Dong Dessa. It was a brother that was doing security at a party who was defending himself, who was scared of Hypo. In that moment in time, who decided, you know what, I'm going to use his weapon and I'm going to do something with it. We could all say out there, he knew Hypo, he could have left Hypo. In fact, he could have just kicked Hypo down. Why use the weapon? But then again, you have to ask a simple question. Why did Hypo pull that weapon in the first place? The jury looked at it, the jury heard it, and they saw it for what it is. You got a civilian working 9 to 5, and you got a party goer pulling a weapon. Not guilty, case closed, self-defense. If you're willing to take the stand and say you was in fear of your life, that's exactly what happened. As for Tricky saying about Hypo being around some of these groupie rappers and beggars, he's not lying. Some of these groupie rappers and beggars, there was no way they'll be able to leave halfway down their road and go anywhere if Hypo weren't with them. That's just a fact. Saying that, I might as well say this, shout out Jay Spades, a guy who stuck to his plan, who stuck to his word. I call that credible rap. Now the question is, who are these people Tricky's talking about? Who are these new groupies that you kept seeing Hypo around? That was really just shook of him and really using him as a beg. I'm not going to be the one to call out their names. That's Tricky's job. He should have just said who he's talking about, direct, rather than leaving innuendos and assumptions. Some of the things that Tricky was saying will go over enough man's head. There's certain places you shouldn't be. There's reasons you have to move different. There's places you're going to go that man are going to try you. There's man who always wanted to try you, but due to the fact they knew you was around certain man, they wouldn't have tried you. But when they see you by yourself, they're going to try you. Hypo was flossy, so what? That's what you guys out there like. You like that flossy, you like that jury. The difference is with it came from really the ground. Most of these rappers are borrowed, it's lies, it's a facade. But I can't tell you who they are due to the fact that Tricky's supposed to tell you that. He's supposed to have come out and said, this man, that man, why not? You're speaking about them anyway. That's the way I see it, like I said. However, I see Tricky speaking about Big Bad Spizzle. Tricky's asking, why does Big Bad Spizzle keep speaking his name? Man made a phone call and man asked, is my man cool? What is it? And Tricky said, allow it. Basically, don't harm yourself and put yourself in danger or go jail for Big Bad Spizzle. That's what Tricky said to his brethren. When I hear a man say them type of things, I'm not going to front. I don't like that. I don't like a man who phone a man and say, should I move to him? Shouldn't I move to him? I look at it sideways as pretend loyalty because you don't need to ring me to know common sense. Common sense will tell you whether to mash him up or not mash him up. You know what it is because we've had that conversation way back when. So therefore, I don't want to hear Tricky come on internet and talk like that. That's showing me something very simple. That's showing me vulnerability. That Tricky's basically saying, if you touch me, there's going to be 10 men after you. Tricky, I don't want to hear them type of things there. It reminds me of school when a man says, I'm going to get my big brother. I don't want to hear that. Because what comes after that word is, go and get him. I'll put him down too. That's what most men out there would say. So I'm going to say it very simply, innit? I like some of the things that Tricky had to say. I can't front. However, he then goes on to say in that same conversation, there was a brother who went on RTM. He had to box in his mouth. Who was that, Tricky? Let us know out there who went on a big podcast show that you boxed in their mouth like a real bad boy. I want to hear that. I've got to say, Tricky also says in that podcast there's man out here he's seen on the streets and his brethren is seen. And they've stuck it on, man. And man don't want it. Man is fraggles. They're not really about that life. I've got to say something very simple. Tricky, what is it you're doing, my guy? Are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? I don't want to air innuendos and insinuatos. Just speak plain English, Tricky. You're speaking about certain situations anyway. So just say it for what it is. Either way, like I said, I can't front. There's certain things he said that I liked. For you youths out there, it's simple, innit? There's certain places, certain man you shouldn't be around or go around due to the fact your mind frame, your mindset, your goals and your morals are different. But then again, when you're in the same group, how do you know what's different and what's real? Until something goes wrong. Let's just face it, a lot of people out there was jealous of Hypo. Jealousy can't take away the fact that you really saw a guy that done it from the ground up and who was brazy with it. Enough of you guys out there would love to be that way, so don't front. Just take a look at all your favourite rappers. Well, majority of them, they're not going to tell you the truth that they got their style from Hypo. In fact, they're not even going to tell you they borrowed jewelry from Hypo neither. But that's such as life. People are fake until you find out for yourself. RIP Hypo once again. Remain relevant TV as always, like, share, subscribe. Peace.